Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name is Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Thursday and it's time for a Magic Stuff. And today I'm going to be talking to you about performing on stage. Specifically, I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite routine to perform on stage. One thing that I want to try and do on this channel in 2021 is I want to try and get more magicians performing on stage. And I've talked about this on the channel before, but very, very briefly, when I first got into magic, it was all about stage performing. You know, when you got into magic, you'd buy the stuff that you'd perform on stage. You'd dream about having doves and I remember one of the first things I ever bought was a chair suspension. Had nowhere to perform it, had nothing that I could ever do with it, but I just had this dream of performing on stage. These days, that's not the case. A lot of people that get into magic these days, they are more interested in learning how to do close-up, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with close-up. I love close-up magic, and I can understand why that's the case. With people like Dynamo and David Blaine and Chris Angel, close-up magic and street magic has become very popular, and there's a lot of magicians that are working professionals around the world that only do close-up magic. I believe, however, that being able to perform on stage makes you a better magician for a few different reasons. The first reason is it just allows you to offer more to the client. You know, so if you're a professional magician or even a semi-professional magician, or you have a desire to be able to go out and make money from doing magic, if you've got close-up magic, then that's great. That's one string to your bow. If you can offer a cabaret show as well, or a stage show as well, that opens up so many other doors. It really does, and it allows you to upsell people on that. It allows you to say, "Hey, I've got. You can book close-up magic, but I can also offer you this cabaret show as well. You pay X amount extra, and you can have this cabaret show." So the first thing it does is it opens up more doors for you. Genuinely, it does. Second of all, for some reason, if you go ahead and perform on stage, a lot of the time, venues and bookers, they treat you with a little bit more respect. I've been booked as a close-up magician, and I've said, "Great, where can I change?" And they've gone, "I'll just go into the disabled toilets," and I'm there in the disabled toilets trying to get changed and sort all my tricks out to do close-up magic. Generally, when I get booked to do a stage show, even if I'm doing close-up magic as well, I've got a room for me, or they've got some place that's been allocated for me, and you've got food for me. For some reason, there's a little bit more respect given when you're a stage magician. Also, if you plan on entering talent competitions, it can be a smaller talent competition, or it can even be something like Britain's Got Talent, or America's Got Talent, or some sort of Got Talent. It's good to be able to perform on stage, because you have to be able to perform on stage in a talent show. And yes, I know there are people that have gone on the Got Talent programs that have gone down and performed to the judges directly at their table, and that's fine, but you still have to walk out on that big stage, and you're still performing in front of a lot of people, even if you're just doing it to 4 people. So it allows you to kind of be able to put yourself into a position where you can do talent shows and talent contests and, get social proof that way. The other thing it does, being able to perform on stage, it gives you extra skills that you can't learn as a close-up magician. So, for example, I've seen close-up magicians go and do banquet tables where they've got tables in a gala dinner and there's tables of 10, and they walk over very, very meekly to the table and go, "Hi, I'm the magician. I'm just going to do some magic here, if that's okay. Can I?" And they perform for like 2 or 3 people on the table. Every stage magician that I've ever seen, they learn vocal projection very, very quickly. They learn how to carry themselves on stage very, very quickly. And I can always tell a stage magician who does close-up, because they'll walk up to the table and they will own that table. "Hello, good evening, my name's Craig. I'm here to..." And they'll grab everyone's attention immediately. It also there's so many skills that you learn as a stage magician that are transferable to close-up. So one of the things that I want to do on this channel in 2021 is I want to try and give more magicians the skills and the information they need to go out and feel confident performing on stage. And one of the ways that I wanted to do that is talk to you about my favorite trick. My favorite stage trick. It's a question that's come up over and over again on the channel. "Craig, what is your favorite stage trick?" So rather than do it on the Q&A, I thought I'd do it on a Magic Stuff, and I'd actually show you the trick, actually do a live performance footage of the trick, And then what we'll do is we'll break it down and we'll look at it step by step and look at what we can learn from that performance when you're going out and doing stage magic yourself. Now, before we look at this clip, let me tell you why this is so important to me. So I was doing close-up and kid shows for years. As a side note, by the way, and slightly diverting off subject, I highly recommend doing kid shows and family shows if you want to be a stage magician. And the reason is, it gives you the environment to perform in front of lots of people. You see, close-up is normally only 2 or 3 people if you're doing walk around, or a table of 10 at the absolute most if you're doing sort of table magic. You're never going to be in a situation where you walk out and stand in front of an audience and perform in front of an audience. But kid shows, you're always performing in front of 20 or 30 kids. And you know, normally most kid shows, you're going to have adults at the back as well, which will watch if you grab their attention. And you know what? A lot of cabaret tricks that I've worked in, I've initially worked them in a kid show, and once I've got them in a kid show and I've got the comfortable performing them, then I put them into my cabaret show and I adapt the presentation to fit the corporate audience or the wedding audience or whatever I'm performing in front of. So I highly recommend doing kid shows. I really do. It gives you a lot of advantages. But anyway, I digress. So I spent a long time performing close-up magic and performing kid shows, and I always dreamt of performing on stage. And then myself and my ex-business partner, we decided to put together an illusion show, which was quite a leap. So we went from doing close-up to doing big grand illusions. Normally a lot of people kind of go close-up, cabaret show, you know, smaller stage shows, and then maybe go to close-up. We kind of jumped straight up into doing a full illusion show, which was quite a change to what we were doing, to be perfectly honest. And you probably know, but illusions are very expensive. Like, you can very easily spend £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 on an illusion that will last 3 minutes. And we had a contract with holiday parks, so we had to put a 45-minute act together. Now, there was no way that we could fill a 45-minute act with just illusions. It would be impossible. We wouldn't be able to find a van big enough. We'd need an articulated lorry, and it would have cost us an absolute fortune. So we had to put into our act what we call front of cloth pieces. And when you talk about front of cloth pieces in an illusion act, what it means is when the curtain comes down, maybe when the illusions are being changed around, it's a routine that you do front of cloth, front of that curtain, using smaller items and smaller props while everything's being reset behind you. That's where front of cloth comes from. So we knew we had to pepper our act with front of cloth material, but it also had to be big because we were doing holiday parks. We were performing to 700, 800, 900 people. We didn't want to do kitsch tricks or we didn't want to pull out a run rabbit run or a colouring routine and do that, because although there are kids in a holiday park, there's also a lot of adults. So we needed to put something in, and that's where I started to put my cabaret show together. I had no interest in doing cabaret show, but I had to put routines into my illusion show to pad out my illusion show. And I kind of realized after 6 to 12 months of doing this, well, hang on, all of this material I could actually do as a one-person show instead of a large illusion show. And the first trick, I spent a long time looking for routines to put in my show, the illusion show, that could be done as a front of cloth piece that would fit my style as a comedy magician. And the first routine that I bought that I felt really comfortable with is the routine that I'm going to show you now, and it's called the Suit Jacket Escape, which was marketed by Bill Abbott Magic, and it's still available right now. I have literally made a career out of this one trick. I really have. I've performed it in illusion shows. I've performed it in parlour shows. I've performed it in cabaret shows. I've performed it literally all over the world. And I've made it my own. I really have. And I'm still doing it now to this day, which is rare. You know, a lot of the time when you're a magician, you get a routine, you change your routines over time. And a lot of the routines over time, I have changed. I've taken routines out my act. I've put routines in. But this Suit Jacket Escape has stayed with me for a very long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you some footage of me doing the Suit Jacket Escape. Now, this was at a place called Nailcoat Hall. Many years ago. It's actually me with hair, so you can see it was about 8 years ago. yeah, about 8 years ago now, and it's a charity dinner. There's about 300, 400 people there. It was the pink dinner. It was for breast cancer. It's a charity dinner that I do most years, and there's about 300 or 400 people in the audience. They're all up for a good time. They spent a lot of money to come to this. That'll just give you a bit of a background. You'll also see that this is actually part of the illusion show. And if you actually look, we're performing it on the dance floor, but if you look stage left, if you look over to the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see some of the illusions that we were using as well. So you can see that this is actually shot as part of an illusion show. So I want you to have a look at the footage. It's exactly how I do it now, even though it's all those years ago. Have a look at the footage, and then we'll break down what you can learn from watching me perform the suit jacket escape.
And how I'm going to do it is do another classic of magic. You might have heard of somebody called Harry Houdini. You heard of Harry Houdini? Yeah, he's dead now, but he was known as the King of Cuffs. He was the greatest escapologist of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, he was in peak physical condition. He could dislocate his shoulder, his elbow. He could escape from any restraint. He was amazing. Now, guys, I'm going to try and replicate something of his. I'm not in peak physical condition. I can't dislocate my elbow or my shoulder. I can't escape from a straitjacket. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for your entertainment pleasure, I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. No, you don't understand. I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. Wow! Yeah, thanks for that. Now, it doesn't sound too impressive, thank you, Anna. It doesn't sound too impressive. It becomes more impressive when you realise that I'm going to do it with my hands handcuffed or shackled behind my back. Russell has a set of handcuffs. He's going to handcuff me. Then I need two people to come up and help me. I need two people who've got some experience with handcuffs. Maybe they've been in them. Maybe they've used them. Maybe they've got them in their bedside table. I don't know. Also, I don't need to know. But I need two people to come up and help me that have got some experience with handcuffs. Can I have some music, please? Anna, Russell, go and get me two volunteers.
Who look like they might have had some experience with handcuffs. You, sir, you can help. What's your name? Your name's... You got a bad leg, have you? Has he got a bad leg? He has. Okay, we'll take you instead. What's your name, sir? You don't do things like that. Okay, let's see if we can find. You're pointing at this and maybe not. I know. But you can help me, sir, can you not? Yes, and you can join him as well, because you look so smug. There you go. Fantastic. Coming up for me, gentlemen, that'd be wonderful. Can you stand that side of me, please, sir? Wonderful. And if you could stand right side for me, that's fantastic. And what's your name, sir? This is Jeff, everybody. Hey. Where are you from, Jeff? Jeff's from Henley and Arden. Apparently not many other people are, but there you go. And what's your name, sir? This is Mark, everybody! You're less popular than Jeff. Where are you from, Mark? He's from Hatton! Yeah, okay, fair enough. Let me ask you a question. Bearing in mind you're from Henley and Arden, have you had any experience with handcuffs? Plenty, I thought so. Look, in your expert opinion, have a look at these and check them out and make sure they're all solid, make sure everything's okay, yeah? Is that good? Fantastic. Better than yours. You can borrow them afterwards. And have you had any experience with handcuffs, sir? None whatsoever, okay. He doesn't seem to believe you there. Look, have a look at these, check them out, make sure they're all good. Is everything okay? That's fantastic. Can you stand that side for me, sir? And if you can stand that side, that'd be wonderful. Now, on the floor here, we have something called the curtain of death. Two white pieces of rope there and there. In a minute, you're going to grab the white rope and lift the curtain up. And whilst inside the curtain, I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. What was your name again, sir? Mark. Before I do this, Mark, stick out your first finger, your pointing finger. Stick it out in front of you. Very good. Put it on the centre of my glasses and push upwards. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Lovely. We're good. Now, grab the rope for me if you can, guys. That's very good. And lift it up, up. Lift it up. Very good. Oh, you're all tangled up. There we go. Wow, what are you doing? No, it's called a piece of rope, sir. It's right there. That's what you hold. That's wonderful. Fantastic. There we go. I know we get there. So it was to about waist height, guys. I'm not Simon Cowell. That's a little bit higher. Wonderful. A little bit lower still. That's more nipple height. Wonderful. So it's Mark and Jeff. Is that right? Jeff, Mark. Wonderful. Guys, there's two instructions to follow. The first instruction is raise the curtain of death. Now, when I say that, bring your hands high up in the air so the audience can't see me, because sneaky stuff is happening behind this curtain. You know what I'm talking about, right, Jeff? Good. Raise the curtain of death. Take your time. There you go. But you're sagging in the middle there, Jeff. Take one step backwards. Wonderful. Oh, no, it's just that he's a bit shorter than you. It's okay, don't worry about it. Now, the second instruction is lower the curtain of death. When I say that, drop your hands to your sides, but continue to hold on to the curtain. Lower the curtain of death. Wonderful. The final instruction is, let go of the rope. If that's happened, something gone wrong, I need you to let go immediately. Do you understand? Fantastic. Let me ask you a question. Jeff, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, Jeff. If you get excited, everyone else will get excited. Jeff, are you ready?
I'm ready.
And also a little bit scary. Mark, are you ready? Come on, Mark. You're ready. You're ready. I can tell. Mark was born ready. Guys, are you ready? I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket, my hands cuffed behind my back with my own suit jacket. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air for me, please, guys. I'm going to do this in record time. Oh, I'm forgetting one thing. Lower the curtain. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I'm very sorry. I forgot one thing. We've got to warm up. Now, I've been told by Sue and Rick. If I bring anybody up to come up and help me and I don't warm them up, I'm going to be in trouble. So just drop it for a minute. We're going to warm up. Guys, what I want you to do is face that way, put your hands out like this, and just copy what I do. Every move I make, okay? Here we go.
Peace up.
Come on, everybody. You don't need the band, you just need us three doing half an hour of this. Yeah! You got into that just a little bit too much, didn't you? Okay, right, we're warmed up, we're ready, I'm going to do this. Guys, grab the rope, here we go. Watch this. Escaping from my own suit jacket. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air, guys, all the way up in the air. I'm going to do this in record time, and everyone's going to go nuts, and I'm going to win this stupid competition, and you're going to realise how important it... Right, I've got it. Guys, I want to give you an update. Lower the curtain. Halfway. Come on, everybody, halfway. What do you think of it so far? Fantastic. This is a man that knows talent. Wish you could talk to Simon Cowell, he hated it. What's your name? Well, I know your name. What did you think? I'm going confused. What did you think of it? Rubbish. 15 years of practice, no social life, sitting in my bedroom practicing this stuff, and you just sum it up by rubbish. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. No, it's fine. He liked it. I don't really care what you think. Right, okay, here we go. I'm going to go the rest of the way. And then you'll love it. I'm going to get out the rest of the way. Here we go. Raise the curtain of death. All the way up in the air, guys. All the way up in the air. I'm going to do this in record time. Now, earlier on, I talked to you about Harry Houdini. And I told you he dislocates his shoulder. Do you remember that? Yeah. I can't do that. I'm dislocating something else. Yeah, that's not meant to happen. We got a problem. Don't worry. This is what's meant to happen. Oh, guys, I got a problem. Lower it for a sec. No, this isn't the bit where you clap, love. Just so you know. Still rubbish, innit? Yeah. Oh my God. Right, no, I can do this. I can do this. They're going to go mad. I'm going to do it right. I can do this. You believe me, don't you? Good, right, here we go. Better get a big round of applause after this, right? Not yet, I haven't done anything yet. Right, here we go. Raise the curtain of death, all the way up in the air. Please, all the way up in the air. One move is all it... No, drop it on the floor! Let go! Also, not the bit where you clap. And also, not appreciated having a camera pointed at me at the moment, love, to be perfectly honest, but... Actually, more to the point, what are you going to do with the picture? Of me like this? Look, YouTube, yeah. Look, right now, there's some people in the audience that might think these are tricky handcuffs. Just tell them that they're okay. Do me a favour, grab the lock. Grab the lock. That's the lock. Yes, very good. With an L. Is that okay? Good. How's it looking back there?
Nice, actually.
Very nice. You better believe it, buddy. It was Mark, right? Jeff. You're Jeff. I'm getting confused. Jeff, finger. Finger. Glasses. Where you from? Brighton? Finger. Glad you knew what I was talking about. That could have been very weird. Right, okay. I love my job. Right. Okay. Guys, I want you to grab the rope. We're going to try this one more time. And if we manage to get out of this, I'm going to give you both a big round of applause. One more time. Raise the curtain of death, all the way up in the air. I'm going to do it in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Give him a big, massive round of applause to Mark and Jeff. Come on, guys, go nuts.
Right, so that was me performing the suit jacket escape. As I said, I absolutely love that routine, I really do. So what can we learn from the suit jacket escape? Let's break down why I put it in my act, and what you can learn from this if you're putting yourself a stage show together, because this is my favourite trick. Number one, you need to make sure that the routine plays big. And what I mean by that, there's no point having a routine that only plays to a certain amount of people. You want a routine that plays as big as it possibly can be, because you never know how many people are going to be in the audience. Like I say, in this situation, there are about 300 or 400 people in the audience, but you could easily get booked for a cabaret show for 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, 1,000 people. And you don't want to be in a situation where, if you're doing the invisible deck, for example, where you get an inquiry for 1,000 people in the audience and you go, well, I can't do it. Sorry, my set wouldn't play big enough. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do the invisible deck to 1,000 people. Some people do and do it well. But the point I'm trying to make is you need to make sure the routines that you're putting into your stage show play big. And there's a couple of ways of making them play big. The first way is you just present them big. So, for example, again, using the invisible deck as an example, you can do the invisible deck by having somebody come up on stage, name a card, and it's the only one turned over. Or you can point to people. You can take a beach ball, throw it out in the audience. Right, you over there, sir, can you do me a favor? Red or black? Black. Okay, throw the beach ball to somebody else. And you can have a jumbo pack of invisible deck. Now, suddenly that routine plays bigger. In the case of the suit jacket escape, it's very easy for that routine to play big because it takes up a large part of the stage. You've got that big cloth. You've got the spectators who are on either side of you that are holding the cloth. It takes up a lot of space and it can be seen from a very, very long distance. So when you're performing a routine, make sure that it plays big. Number two, make sure that it packs flat. That's really important when you're first putting a stage act together, unless you're doing an illusion show, in which case you're going to be taking a van and everything around with you. When you're first putting a stage show together, make sure it packs flat. Me, for example, I don't drive. So when I'm going to do a stage show, I need to make sure that everything that I take fits into one case. Although this routine plays massive, when you fold that cloth up and you put the handcuffs in a case, it can be fit into a briefcase with room to spare very, very easily. And it's very important that you do have your routines packed flat. So you need to look for routines that will pay big, but at the same time, pack flat. Very important. Number three, make sure that the routine that you're doing fits your character. Now, we've talked about character on this channel before. Many, many times I've talked about developing a character and knowing your character, but trick selection is such an important part of that. You select the tricks that you do based on your character. So, for example, a hardcore mentalist, Steve Della, for example, would not be able to do the suit jacket escape because it just doesn't fit his character. You can't go from, book tests and all that sort of stuff to now doing this stupid premise of I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. It doesn't work. It doesn't go. So you need to understand your character and you need to understand what type of magic your character would do. If you're a serious mentalist, you wouldn't want to be doing a routine like this. What type of person do you want to be when you perform? Do you want to be a comedy magician? Do you want to be a serious magician? What type of, are you sarcastic with the audience? What's your style? Because then you can look at a trick and you can look at whether you can make that trick fit your character, and you can make sure that your character would actually perform the trick that you're doing. Number four, one thing that you'll notice with the suit jacket escape is it is a very different style of trick. It's not a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's not the sort of thing that you see a million times. But, Di Vernon talked about how the best types of magic can be summed up in one sentence. The magician is handcuffed and escapes from his suit jacket. It's a very easy premise to understand, but it's very unlikely that people have seen this before. And that's very, very important, especially when you're selling a show. Because when you're selling a stage show, people will turn around to you and say, oh, what sort of tricks do you do? And if you're just like showing it, say, oh, I do this card trick and I do this thing and I read this person's mind and I do this with the big metal rings, that's all well and good, but it doesn't make you stand out above everyone else. You present this, I'm going to escape from my own suit jacket. Not many other people are doing this routine. It looks great on a show reel. And not only does it look great on a show reel, but it looks great on a website as a standalone piece, which is really, really important. So try to look for routines where the premise of the routine is different to what everyone else is doing. Make yourself unique. Number 5, you also want to make sure that there is a place for the routine in your show. So don't just buy something for the sake of buying it. Have a think about the structure of your show. And if you haven't put a show structure down yet, you should do. You absolutely should put a show structure down. And you should kind of write down and, have more than one show structure. I now have 8 45-minute cabaret shows, and I can mix and match between them, or I can present one and present the other, and that's what I tend to do. So when I get booked to do a gig, I'll put on there, right, I've done cabaret 1, so I get rebooked. I know that I don't have to do cabaret 1. But the point is, you need a show structure, and you need to work out where this routine is going to fit into your show. Is there actually a place for it? And if so, think about how you would get into this trick. Think about what the trick is before this one, and think about how you transition from this trick to the next trick. What are you going to do? How are you going to go from this to that to the other one? Very, very important to understand that. Okay, so the next point is, can you make the routine fit your character? Now, this is a little bit different to what I was talking about before. Before, I was talking about knowing your character. Now, you want to make sure that the trick that you're doing fits your character. So, for example, I talked about mentalism beforehand. As somebody whose character is, well, you saw it in the live performance there. My character is, I'm very loud. I'm almost a little bit dislikable on stage. I'm very arrogant, and but at the same time, people like me. It's kind of that's my character, but overly sarcastic and funny. That's what I kind of aim for. So I could do a mentalism trick if I can see myself doing it, if I can work it into the style in which I perform. So the perfect example is Cody's Comedy Book Test. Cody's Comedy Book Test is a mentalism piece, but it is very, very funny. So that's a very easy routine to say, I'm going to do that in my show. That would work for me because it's already got all of the stuff written by Cody. But I might look at another routine and go, well, that works for me as well. So a perfect example is I do Pop Hayden's Linking Ring routine. Now, Pop Hayden's Linking Ring routine, the way that Pop performs it, wouldn't work for me, but I've re-routined it and I've rechanged it to make sure that it would fit for my style and my performance. So when you're buying a trick, not only should you understand your character, but you should also understand about whether that will fit into your act or not. One other point about the routine playing big. It is very, very important for the routine to play big, and I stand by that. But something that I've just thought of that I want to kind of tell you guys is you need to be aware of the stage space that you have. So for example, and again, we'll use the suit jacket escape as a background, as an example, because you've just seen it. It takes up quite a lot of space when you consider that the cloth needs to be laid out and then you need to have people on either side. If I'm working on a very small stage, that wouldn't work. I need to make sure, where are you going to perform this? Do you have somewhere in mind? Are you going to have enough space? The other example that you need to think about is lighting. So with the suit jacket escape, I don't really want backlighting, because if I have lights from the back, it's going to shine up what's happening inside the suit jacket. I remember doing the suit jacket escape once on some ships, and I didn't realise, and I should have checked this beforehand, but I didn't realise, but on the ships there was a mezzanine level directly above the stage. There was a mezzanine level where people could stand and look down at the stage, and I didn't even think about this. And I was on that ship for 2 weeks, and I took the suit jacket escape with me, and I was doing it on the first night, and my hands were behind my back, and I was doing the thing, and then I looked up, and every single person up there was looking down, and they could see exactly what I was doing, and I had to make a joke of it and go hi, and then I had to re-routine it for the other night. So be aware of the environment in which you're performing in. Now, sometimes it's impossible, but that's why we have a technical rider. When you start doing more stage shows, you'll have a technical rider that you send out to people, and you'll say, no backlighting, no this, no that, no the other, lighting from the front only, all that sort of stuff. But until you've got that, think about where you're performing this. Think about where you're going to be performing this, and make sure that it is a suitable environment. You don't want to buy something and you can only do it in one place and one place only, because then ultimately it's going to be a waste of money. One final point is make sure that you have fun with the routine that ultimately you're going to be performing. You want to be enjoying performing it. Think about, we've all been there where you've got that card trick that you absolutely love performing and you do it all the time and you love the reactions you get from it, but you love performing it. The method is really fun for you to perform. And then we've all been there when we're performing that trick that we don't particularly like, the audience seems to like it, so we carry on doing it, but it's not one that we really buy into ourselves. And so we don't perform it as well as we would. Well, in close-up, that's not really too much of an issue, but when you're on stage, if you're not performing full on 100%, the audience will pick up on that. So you want to make sure that you're giving it 100% every single time. And in order to give it 100% every single time, you've got to love performing the routine. And if you ever stop loving performing it, drop it immediately. I've dropped a couple of routines just because I've not enjoyed performing them anymore and I've moved on to something else. The suit jacket escape is something that I still enjoy performing as much now as I did when I first started doing it. So make sure that you can imagine yourself performing the routine and it's something that you would enjoy performing. One other thing to think about is audience management. And what I mean by that is this routine, for example, the suit jacket escape, 2 people are coming up to help me with the routine. So you need to be thinking about the type of people you're going to bring up. Like with this routine, I need to bring 2 fairly tall guys up and they need to be the same size. And, it doesn't really work as well because of the gags with ladies or women. So I need to have guys. So think about again, it comes back to thinking about things before you make a purchase or before you invest in something. You really got to think about what it is that you're spending money on. Are you going to be performing in places where there's going to be 2 guys that are fairly tall that can help you with this routine? What other routines have you got in your act where you've got people coming up and helping you? Is there space for another routine? Because you don't want to have everything audience participation with coming up on stage. You want to mix and match it as much as possible. So this is all stuff that you really need to think through and you really need to think about. But make sure that you take every factor into consideration. So there you go. Hopefully that helped. Look, I love the suit jacket escape. It allowed me to grow as a performer. I got really confident performing on stage because of that routine, and it allowed me to try my hand at a lot of other routines as well. And that is what will happen to you. I've tried to break down this routine, why I love it so much and how it's helped me, and hopefully that'll help you as well. But now it's over to you. I want you to let me know in the comments down below what you think. How many times have you performed on stage? What's your favorite stage routine? Have you not performed on stage yet? Is it something you're planning on doing? In which case, have you got routines in mind? What did you think of the suit jacket escape? Let's get a dialogue going in the comments down below. And once again, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, please leave a comment, and I will be back tomorrow with another magic rant. I'll see you then. My name's Craig from Magic TV.